Hey everyone, I wanted to give some tips, some more advanced tips on shoulder retraction or shoulder blade retraction, arching, and keeping your shoulders planted on the bench press. I know most everybody has heard about retracting your shoulder blades or whatever when you're benching, and I've seen a few people, or quite a few people, kind of retract them. Not really incorrectly, but there is a better way to do it, in my opinion, that helps form an arch as well, and not just to decrease your range of motion, but more of a way to keep your shoulders safe and utilize more of your chest while benching. So first off, you'll have is a retract your shoulder blades. Now there's a couple, or I think there's about basically two ways to do this or whatever. You can go back like this. This is kind of retracting them high, and in doing so you don't really put them in that great of a position. Maybe a little better, I don't know, I've never used this position here, but when you tract them you're kind of up high, and to me it just feels a little bit awkward, whatever. So you're retracting them up like this. Now the way I think the proper way to do it is more retract them lower or whatever. So you're lining your shoulders better up with the bar at a better angle than up here. If you retract them, see the difference here from like here to here or whatever. You notice my chest pops up when I do this. When I do this, it pops up kind of a little bit, but it's just in a not as optimal of a position or so. So up like this, or kind of back and down like this. Now you can see the difference in the back. So this is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking more like this. So you can see my shoulder blade retraction like that. So those are the two basic ways to do it. Again, this versus this, because this here kind of forces you to use an arch, and in my opinion aligns the shoulders a lot better to help prevent injury and get your shoulder blades and traps and everything planted on the bench well. Alright, now I'm going to show you kind of the same thing on the bench, retracting them. First here, if I go like this, this is up high, and I got a little arch or whatever. They're kind of planted up here, but the weight of my body, if I do it this way, is not optimal, where I'm really putting it in a good spot or whatever, because I kind of got my weight up here, while if I retract them like down low here, I'm moving the point from where here up, kind of here up high, to more over here. And if you see that, the way I line my chest up here, the forces are kind of going down a little better than up this way here. So it's kind of also some people give the cue to break the bar, kind of rotate like this way, and that kind of helps you put your shoulder blade retraction lower into the position that I'm trying to show you guys how to get in. So by kind of twisting your arms in a sense here, of course your palm will stay the same direction. And some people also note they'll take a thumbless grip on it. I prefer not to do a thumbless grip, although I kind of, when I was rehabbing my bicep, I had to, because of my arm was not ready to rotate yet at that much. And in doing so, you can put, instead of putting the bar here, you're kind of moving it here, which is one of the reasons why people say that when they use a thumbless grip, it helps their shoulders. A lot of main reason why they don't have the mobility of that to kind of rotate, twist all your arm in the shoulder position as well. So doing so, you're kind of moving your wrists here and supporting it more instead of like this way. You're kind of turning it out. If you can see it on the video, it's kind of hard at this angle, but turning it out here, which allows you to also effectively break the bar a little more, which helps alleviate some shoulder issues you may have. And that's why a lot of people, they don't know why a thumbless grips help, but that's why a thumbless grip may feel better on your shoulders and everything. So I'll take a bar here and kind of show you again the position if I rack up high here versus sitting up here lower with my shoulders retracted in the right position. And that just, to me, I'm able to move the weight distribution of my body a little more this way, which helps the alignment with the pecs instead of kind of more back with the shoulders of it. And doing so, that helps me see how my arch is taking it or whatever. So we're rotating back, because most people say, a lot of coaches take a little bit of arch and instead of being flat back, which doing so, if I'm flat back, you can see how my shoulders are up high instead of that, which it doesn't offer the support of the bench you're on here, which is another thing I like to say. The fat pad helps too. It helps to support more of your shoulders and everything, which alleviates shoulder pain. This is all tied in together on it. So retracting your shoulder blades, you see how that arch goes. And this is really the only arch I have. I have a moderate arch, not too much, just because of my current flexibility and everything. And when I strive for an arch, it's more of getting power from it. So in this, it helps everything line up or whatever, because the weight going down here is much better for me the closer it is here, and rotating your arm a little bit, getting it up higher here helps alleviate the shoulder. So you're benching like this instead of like this. The angle is at a better position than your arm being flat, or your back being more flat and your arm perpendicular to your torso. This will change the angle of your arm to your torso, which helps alleviate some shoulder pain or issues you may have, because that puts the shoulder in a much better position. And the next thing I wanted to talk about is excessive lockout in a way that your shoulders lift off the pad. I've noticed something I've discovered when doing a lot of rep work and everything. I seem to want to lock out more, where my shoulders will end up lifting up or so. So a lot of people think that to really lock out, you need to lift the shoulders up. Gives you that feeling or whatever that you locked it out, and really you don't need to. And sometimes it looks like you're not really locking out. So I'm going to take my standard bench position here, and really you need to just like here or whatever. And sometimes I'll feel that I need to go like this to lock it up. And doing so, your shoulder blades retract up or whatever, trying to exaggerate it so you can see, because this is a hard of angle. It's more of a feel that I go where I feel that my shoulder blades here, now this right here is fully locked out for me, but if I come here, I'm basically doing this and excessively locking out, where my shoulder blades are retracting, or not retracting, going back out of retraction, for a better term of it and everything. So I'm able to rise the bar higher And because the main thing, one of the benefits of retracting your shoulder blades, you reduce that range of motion. But then you don't want to go like this, which increases your range, where you're reaching out here, and then again you are moving past. You're not really, your elbows are locked out and everything like that, but you're able to raise it higher because your shoulder blades aren't are going unretracting. I'm not sure if there's a better term for that, but so when you do that, the bar raises higher here. So you come down, locked out, and then you want to go like this, get the bar higher, because I can't get that extra probably 1.5 to 2 inches if I didn't retract my shoulder blades here, because here's my shoulder blades retract, whatever, this is locked out, and now it feels like I'm raising the bar higher. Sometimes I do it to re-rack just to make sure I re-rack it, so on my last set, or last rep, or whatever, if I'm because I'm kind of sitting here and I have these hooks and everything, and I want to make sure that I hit them, and a lot of times I'm not lifting with a back spotter, so I'll come up and then I'll throw it quickly like that, which probably not the best thing to do because it can cause shoulder damage, but I really try to avoid that unless I really want to, but at the same time I just want to re-rack it and make sure, so save that at least for your re-rack. You don't have to lift off each time on each rep when you're doing rep work. So you retract it here, boom, or whatever. If you're benching in competition, just hold it there, wait for the rack command, and then hopefully your spotter will take it and you can kind of go up with it just to make sure it hits it. And at that point you can unretract your shoulder blades. So again, here, retracted, shoulder blades off, and that's kind of an excessive lockout that you don't really need to do. Anyways, that's one thing I kind of noticed with a few benchers, even some pros do that. When I'm sitting there spotting, I'm watching their shoulders to give them cues and everything to try to help them out, and I notice their shoulders are coming up or whatever, and when they're moving, in my opinion, just for shoulder safety and getting your line back, because I've had a lot of shoulder issues, and a lot of people that do that have shoulder tendonitis and stuff just from that, because their shoulders are moving too much. And really, if you can get them back there and try to take, your shoulders will still be working, but you'll try to take that excessive motion of your shoulders out and get more of your pecs going or whatever. That's one thing I think why my pec development is the way it is or whatever, just because of I've always been, before I set up my form right, I was like back, my butt was off the bench and I was just pounding off weights, but that did kind of help me in a sense that I was taking my body at a decline or whatever, developing that power in the correct angle or whatever, and then I came back, started to work my form more, say, hey, this is the angle that I really need, but I gotta, of course, keep my butt on the bench and everything, and my form locked in, keep my form smooth, really focus on my shoulders, on what they're doing to prevent injury on it. And it took me a while to figure that out, and doing so kind of helped me get to my bench to where it was at, of course, before my injury. But I think that was one of the key things that's really helped my bench along the years, is taking a better angle on the bench and everything. And that just, when I bench press, I can feel it really working my chest, because my chest takes over and my shoulders, they're kind of lacking, whatever. I hope to start increasing, working my shoulders more directly to try to get strength. Whether or not they really help or need it on the bench, I don't really think so. It's more of a cosmetic thing and more of a pain-free thing, where I want to strengthen my shoulders so they don't get injured in the future and everything. So I think shoulder movement can be beneficial to the bench if you move it in the right spot, keep track of it, make sure you know what your shoulders are doing. That should help your shoulders last in benching. Most benchers, the biggest issue they have that limit them is shoulder pain. So doing so, it will help you have a long bench career. Anyways, hope that helps you guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, and peace out.